Hello and welcome. In this video, I'd like to show you how you can go back and fill out your checkbook register. So at this point in time, you should have completed your deposit slip and written out your 2 checks for the assignment. So now we want to go back and we want to keep track of the transactions. And we want to keep a log, and we want to keep also a running balance of what's happening financially with our account. So we know how much money we have, again, to buy things and make decisions. So we use a checkbook register. In our case, we're going to use Google Sheet. I mean, you could use Excel, or you could do a pen and paper copy. So when you actually do go back and you buy checks at your bank or credit union, you would receive your checks, and you'd also receive a paper copy of your register. It'd be like a small booklet that you'd put in your checkbook itself, and you then simply record your transactions, write things down. And that will be important that you are doing that so you can cross-reference, again, especially when you write checks. So check number 308 went toward this, and you know exactly what was the amount for, when was it written. So you can go back and go back and figure out if there was a problem with your payment. So it gives you a way to keep track of things. So at this point, like I said, I have my checkbook register open here. You're going to have to go back and you're going to want to download the transactions if you don't have those opened up. So I'm going to go back into my instruction page here, find my transactions. I'll download those. They can open up in Chrome or Adobe, whatever is easier for you. So at this point, I would go side by side so you can sort of keep track of things. And again, like I said, eventually we'll go back. We're going to build a formula out here to either add in money or take money away. So I'll explain that here in a couple of minutes. So you want to start adding in your transactions. First of all, I have the first transaction done, okay? However, the date, it's going to have like a November or December date. And I don't really care what you do on this. You could do last week's information for dates or this week's coming up, whatever makes sense to you, you can do. So I'm planning the week ahead. So today is Saturday, 9/26. So I'm just going to say, all right, Monday is 9/28. Whatever makes sense to you. I don't have to get too concerned about those. But the dates probably, they're not going to match up. So let's just pick one and go with it. So in your register, again, here's what we have to do. So you have a code column A. Sometimes you have to put stuff there, sometimes you don't. I personally feel that all the letters and codes you put out here are sort of redundant. So D would be standing for deposit. Well, in the item description, you say it's a deposit. So you can put it in or you don't have to. I will share with you that you must put in the check number here in the code. So that's critical. I will watch for that. Whenever you plug in the date, it should be, again, month and day. Again, your description, this is going to be who the check is being written to, what kind of transaction it was, and I'll give some examples as we go through here. Column D is where the money is coming out of your account. So whenever I write a check, whenever I stop by the ATM, it's coming out of my account. Column E and column F, we'll talk about those in my next video. That's part of the reconciliation process. Column G is my deposits, like when I get paid, whenever I want to open up the account, I'm going to put money in. So that's going to be back here in G. And also column H, this is going to be my running balance. So what I want to do is I want to go back and I want to start putting in these transactions. So I already have the money transaction plugged in here. Also on Monday, I have a secondary transaction. So I'm going to put in Monday's date. And let's go back. And this was for the actual purchase of checks. So I'm just going to make a note here, purchase checks. It doesn't give me a lot of details. So my question to you is this money coming in my account or is it going out? In this case, it's going out. So it would go back into column D. So I'm going to type in $20. And again, that would show up there with the 2 decimal places. I already have it formatted for that. You will have to type in decimal places if you have sense to include on that. Okay, next transaction would be on Wednesday. We have a check number 101 for Fine Foods. So again, what date do I put in? You can go back and check your calendar. When I look at this Wednesday, oh, it's 9/30. So again, that's a quick way of doing this. Oh, and I said this is a check. So what do we have to do? We've got to put in a check number. So 101. Every check's going to have a unique number. This will help trace this. So you have a way of looking and making sure that this bill's been paid. Who is it going to? Fine Foods. So I'm going to plug in who was the person who received that or the company, and then your amount. Is this coming into my account or going out? Well, I'm paying it, so it's going out. So it's 2311. So now at this point, I want to go back and I want to talk about the formula. And your formula is, again, a running total here. So the premise, if you're doing this on pen and paper with a calculator, you'd look at the previous balance, which was $200, and you'd subtract off the $20. However, I want you to go one step further, where I want you to take in consideration, what if you had a deposit on this transaction? So we can sort of have it set up so it would automatically do the subtraction or add in based upon where you put that. So I'm going to take you through that process right now. So in Google Sheets, we want to start off a formula with an equal sign. Okay, notice how I was in cell H3. Make sure you're in cell H3 before you start this process. Now, you're going to go back to your old balance, which is $200. I'll click on 200. Don't type the cell in. Let Google Sheet do this for you. Click on that. I'm going to type in or hit my operator, my minus sign. I'll click on the 20. This is my purchase check transaction fee. Okay, so it's minus D3. And this is where I want you to go one step further on this. I'm going to ask you to put in the plus sign. And then I'm going to go over here to where if I had something coming into my account, which is in cell G3, and I'm going to click here. So I'm going to set this up to do either or. Once I have that, I'm going to hit enter. Again, if I don't put anything out here in G3, nothing's going to change. So we just want one formula for everything. So at this point, you want to copy your formula to your cells below. A couple of different ways of doing that. You can use your fill handle. So I'm going to go to where I have my formula, grab that blue box in the lower right-hand corner in Google, and you can pull that down. Notice how your mouse pointer changes to a plus sign, and then that would fill in. And it's okay to have that repeated, all right, all the way through. As we add more transactions, it's going to automatically calculate. That's one way of doing that. You can also go back to your formula, copy it, Control-C, select the cells where you want to add that in, and I'm going to hit then Control-V to copy that into the cells where I want. At this point, I'd like you to go back and let's add in the rest of your transactions. And we can stop back in here in a minute and check this. Why don't you pause the video, add in the rest of your transactions, get your formula set up, and you can sort of see, make sure if you're doing this right. So we're going to do a pause, then we'll come back and revisit this. All right, guys, welcome back. Now that you've gone back and added in the rest of your transactions in your checkbook register, let's check to make sure to see what you did and make sure you have everything okay. So again, we ended back here with Fine Foods for check number 101. We had a balance of $156.89. So picking this up here on Thursday, so we added in these last couple of transactions, we had a ATM transaction of $30. Again, I didn't put really a code in here. $30 is coming out of my account. I just wrote an ATM here. Also on Thursday, again in red here, we have a check number 102. Wayne's Book World, $13.50. You must have the check number there. On Friday, we had an automatic payment set up here to pay for your phone bill. I don't know who the carrier is. Is it AT&T? Is it Verizon, Sprint? I'm not really sure. It doesn't say. So I just had phone bill here, $25.50. I wish my phone bill was $25.50. The next thing on Saturday is we had an automatic deposit, or we took a deposit and we put that into our checking account manually. In fact, this was the transaction that we wrote out the deposit slip on the previous assignment. So again, this is money coming into your account. So I had a D here, 10-3 for Saturday, paycheck deposit, and I put that over in column G. And again, my formula is one thing where I'm either subtracting or adding. Again, as I copy this down, it's going to automatically go to the previous amount, in this case $87.89, add in my $113.76. My last two transactions, Best Buy and ATM on Saturday and Sunday. So check number 103 coming out, and then my last transaction of ATM. So now I have a running balance of $47.48. So this would take care of entering your transactions in on your checkbook register, but you don't want to submit this yet. You still have one more step to take care of. So once a month, or again, it sort of depends upon how you do this, but once a month you're going to get a statement from a bank or credit union. And you're going to want to compare to see what you have to what they say you have. Sometimes there's discrepancies. Sometimes you have to make corrections. So we go through that process, and that process is called reconciliation. So that will be in my next video to show you how we can go back and we can finish off my checkbook register. So you don't want to click on that submit button yet until you finish off the reconciliation process. Let me know if you have any questions about with your formulas or entering in your transactions.